Alright, good evening everyone. My name's Phil Gallier. I run Thraben University, a site for legacy, death, and taxes. And tonight we're not quite doing that. Sorry for the delay. My stream is starting about an hour later than usual. My roommate ended up making dinner, and it ended up being a little more complicated than we thought it was going to be. But that's fine. I hope this is going to be worth the wait, folks. Tonight we are playing with Mono Black Control. So, Felchmaster 9000 in chat made a very generous donation to force us towards this stream goal much more quickly than I anticipated. So I'm really excited. I've gone through a couple different drafts of this deck list before deciding on something that looks like this. So essentially the game plan is to use Death Touch Lifelink threats as both removals and a way to sort of like stabilize the game, and we power these up via Lash Ride. In addition, we have Hymn to Turok and Thoughtseize as destructive threats, Dark Confidant and Phyrexian Arena as card draw, Liliana of the Veil and Liliana of the Last Hope as additional main deck removal, and Obliterator as, well, he does one thing. He obliterates. And it's a very good legacy card if your opponent's deck doesn't run like Swords to Plowshares. The sideboard essentially has a suite of cards that allow us to go and remove other creatures, including that. It has some anti-combo cards here. And then there's these two reanimates. So in one of the draft versions that I did, I was playing Unearth, because the idea of like unearthing Dark Confidant, Gifted Aetherborn, Vampire Nighthawk back seemed sweet. And then I decided, what if I play against Reanimator, or what if I use all these removal spells to blow up my opponent's stuff? Wouldn't I like a Thought-Knot Seer? And the answer was, yes, I would. So I switched to Reanimates over Unearths. This is one of two streams. Excuse me. This is one of two streams that I'm going to do with this deck. I'll probably do another one in a week or two, but I kind of want to let it sit for a little while because I have some ideas that I still want to test, and I just kind of need a little more time to put together an alternate version of this deck. This was a deck that I originally contrived as an April Fool's joke, but then we did go 4-1 with it a couple of times, so there's that. Let's just jump right in. Let's see what happens. So I just want to confirm that I clicked version 4. Yes. We have... So what swamps am I running? That's a great question. I should be running a split of swamp and snow-covered swamp, but I forgot. Looks like I am running the good old default swamp. Not one of the swamps of my choice. This is fine. I'm not disappointed to be running this swamp. It's not like the basic plains. I really dislike that. Alright, that's too loud. Alright, so what am I playing against? A 2/2 EN. Who's played Stoneblade in Legacy? I have no lands, I'm in a mulligan. Alright. Good luck, Bob. Please live. I have literally no other game plan. My opponent did not shuffle. Do I want to Thoughtseize first? Our opening 7 had no lands. I do probably want to Thoughtseize first before playing the Bob, even though it's not mana efficient, since the rest of my hand is straight garbage. Good thing I did. Yes, a midpoint between those two hands would be ideal. The good news is that my opponent can't just Council Judgment away this Bob, so I might just get 2 cards out of it. It just probably means they found a Swords to Plowshares or a Snapcaster Mage. A Planeswalker would be pretty stellar here. Nope. Take that, Snapcaster Mage. Opponent asks, what is going on? I'm going to reply with, Legacy All-Star Gifted Aetherborn is here, obviously. A confusion factor. It's working. What creatures are on your D&T Mount Rushmore? Well, it's got to be like Mom, Thalia, Stoneforge, and then the last one is debatable. Probably like Flicker Wisp. I feel like my opponent is like frantically digging for a Swords, not really knowing what's happening. I don't know if you can like really do Flicker Wisp's face, though. That would be problematic. Senor Jace. Thoughtseize. Less good right now. Yeah, I think I should just scoop. I don't really want to give my opponent more information about what's happening here. But technically, their cards don't answer the board, right? Technically. If we draw Obliterator and it somehow resolves through those 3 counterspells there. Yeah, I think this is a fine point to scoop. Like, my opponent has so many counterspells and Jace. It's okay to stop here. Alright. I probably want Inquisition and Chains to kind of mess with my opponent. And I will consider some number of surgical extractions just to, like, remove the possibility of further Swords to Plowshares and Terminus, as well as just, like, getting rid of Jace is pretty spicy. So I don't really... Alright, let's leave these over here for a minute. It's not like you need the chains. Chains are here because I like chains. Everyone knows that. Chains is sweet. So Obliterator is noticeably less good against a deck like Miracles because they have Swords to Plowshares. Actually, maybe I'm fine with keeping all of them in there just because they're kind of stupid. I think I still want the Dark Rituals when I'm on the play, because, like, turn 1 Lily the Last Hope, Lily Veil, or Phyrexian Arena is still insane. But it's not good overall. Maybe I do just, like, plan on playing slower. And I just, like, keep these threats. Run a Miser Surgical. I will keep a hand with chains, 100%. Not sure if I'm supposed to hymn first or chains first. My gut says chains first. The upside of it resolving is huge. Neat, it just happened. Ah, we put an accumulated knowledge in there. Womp womp. This is where we give him the Nighthawk. Target me. Target me. I just have swamps. You get nothing. And your click, not better than Vampire Nighthawk. Rats. Hey, Static Rip, thank you very much for resubbing. Oh yeah, we have sub badges now, folks. I made some this afternoon. I'm not going to say that they're good sub badges, but I took the shield from my Thraben University logo and reset it. And like removing the like Thalia portion. And I think it's going to be pretty good for now. I might do something a little bit fancier later on, but that's what I could do in a little bit of time with paint there. So I think there's a black shield for base. I think a pink for 3 months. Oh man, just brainstorm. Just brainstorm. Oh no, oh no, they're fate sealing themselves. Like a planeswalker for me would be great. Nope. I don't think 22 lands is too many, given that I'm playing a bunch of 4-drops. But maybe it is. Actually, I don't want to cast this yet. I don't want to cast that until right before I cast a spell that matters. Yeah, it sure does feel like I'm just playing like 37 swamps. Oh man, they just naturally drew the Teferi to tuck my chains. That's annoying. Alright, we're pretty dead here. Poor showing. Poor showing. So, like, with how this way my curve is, and given that I don't really want to miss land drops, and that further land drops make my Lash Rise better, I think it's fine to just be playing a bunch of swamps. But it just did not work out there. We were indeed very, 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 very back to basics proof, yes. We even like cut the dark rituals out of that, so we were even on fewer mana sources than normal. Womp womp. Opposing planeswalkers are a problem. Maybe I should play something like Pithing Needle or Sorcerous Spyglass. That's something to keep in mind for the next time I give this a go. Yeah, Hero's Downfall would be fine. Please give me an opponent. Thursday will be D&T, Mike. Thursday will be D&T. See, this is frustrating. Well, I guess I'll keep this. Nah, not about the sinkhole life. I'm about this Death Touch lifelink life. Thoughtseize is kind of awkward. I don't think I'm beating a combo deck with this hand. I think just like turn 2, I go Dark Rit, Obliterator, and we hope that's good enough. I'm going to bottom that. If I was on the draw, I'd keep that. Oh my gosh, is my opponent playing in like 4 fucking events right now? If so, this is going to be very annoying. Because it's just going to take forever. It looks like they are in 3 different modern competitive league matches. I'm not really sure how that's possible. Opponent sitting there thinking about countering this. I'm just going to be like super sad if it's just going to be like Miracles again and they're just going to go like land Swords to Plowshares this. Deal. Deal. So my opponent really needs something like a Toxic Deluge to get these off the table. All right. Opponent has tricks of their own. Why couldn't we have played against normal Grixis? Now, do I want to play another threat, or do I just want to jam an arena? If I play Vampire Nighthawk, it just will get, like, chumped by a Fairy Rogue. So if Vampire Nighthawk gets chumped by a Fairy Rogue, my opponent has 3 counters. Then they can just avoid. Yeah, this isn't stellar. Oh, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I hit level 40 on Pokemon Go yesterday. Which, well, not all that important in the grand scheme of things. Feels good, because I've been sitting at 39 for frickin' ever. So, for perspective, I don't really remember exactly what it is, but it's something along the lines of the difference between levels, like, okay. The difference between, like, levels 1 through 39 is something like, or 1 through 37 is something like the difference between, like, 38 and 40. So it's absurd how much experience it is. Oh yeah, 37 is halfway to 40. That's what it is. So my opponent's plan is to double block with fairy rogues here, shrink my obliterator down to a 2/2, then lose 2 fairy rogues and 2 other permanents. Or, no, I guess that can't exactly be their plan, right? Because if they triple shrink this down, they're going to die to their own Bitter Blossom on their turn. So they can't actually do that. Oh yeah, he can bin his own Bitter Blossom. That is correct. We'll see if my opponent sees that, though. Alright, so now my opponent can bin their Blood Moon and Bitter Blossom. I can play Vampire Nighthawk here to trade with a Fairy Rogue, or I could play double Gifted Aetherborn. If I play double Gifted Aetherborn, my opponent just attacks for 2. They get 2 Jitte counters that effectively puts them at 5. I think I like playing 2 different threats. Now, if my opponent has nothing else, they'll just move the Jitte over to the Sprite. Really needed another land this turn. And now, since there's 2 Jitte counters on here, I can't really attack in with these, because if I attack in, my opponent double shrinks one of these, blocks, and then gets 2 more Jitte counters, so I just have to pass the turn, unfortunately. No, this already has 2 counters on it. So if my opponent double shrinks one of my creatures, it's super, super bad for me. Yeah, you're right, I did mess up. So since they're at 1, they instead would have had to pump, gain 2, and I could have killed the Sprite. Against a normal Grixis control deck, these Death Touch Lifelinkers would have been absolutely fine. We're playing against a brew. No regrets. So again, blocking's really not profitable. Fairies is not an established legacy archetype at this time. That is correct. Neither is mono black control though, so who am I to judge? So it doesn't really seem like my opponent actually has that many threats. I probably want to trim on the number of 1-drops I'm playing because of Spellstrutter Sprite specifically. Yeah, Liliana the Veil might be awkward. I agree with that. I guess I have to assume that they're like a 4x Bitter Blossom, 4x Blood Moon, 4x Spellstrutter Sprite, a couple of random Jittes sort of deck. Nah, Lash Wrath would have been gas that entire game. Like, I could have gotten my stuff out of Jitte counter range and been in fine shape. Alright. Did not get a free one by just getting my opponent's lands. But that's fine. Okay, Mutavault is a card that would make sense in their deck. No, no, it isn't, because Blood Moon. They probably don't have Mutavaults. They did not shuffle with the Ponder. They kept. So I'm probably not just getting the freebie win for opponent not having lands. Probably have to play this one out regularly. Hopefully just resolve Phyrexian Arena and just go ham. Collective Brutality would be fine for this deck. Spell Strutter that. Jitte would be acceptable. Bitter Blossom's a very powerful card. It might fit into their shell. Like, there's obviously plenty of things I can try. The limiting factor is how much time do I have to actually test them. Double Bitter Blossom. So I can go up to 6 mana. I think I want to be able to cast Lash Writhe around Spell Pierce. I'm going to go ahead and cast this. Ooh, opponent was just F6'd. How can they beat me? In what capacity could they possibly win here? If I cast this Marsh Casualties, I can turn on Fatal Push, and that can keep them alive, so I probably don't want to do that. Okay, yeah, so they can kill one of their own fairies and then push Obliterator. So to play around that, I hem. Oh no, okay, they're just dead. Got a wow from the opponent. Kind of want to play Inquisition when I'm on the draw. Oh, Lord Darkdew, it is strictly wrong. I just, like, when I submitted the deck list yesterday and borrowed my cards, I forgot. Maybe I trim a couple Gifted Etherborn. Like, the issue is that Sinkhole unsupported isn't good. It's a card that's good if you're going in on a strategy that supplements that, but I'm not. This hand is great. We'll get a turn to Obliterator again. Please tap out for your Bitter Blossom. No? Alright. Yeah, you can Spell Stutter that. That's fine. Drawing both Reanimates is a little rough. But it'll just let me go like Obliterator into Obliterator into Obliterator, so it's probably fine. That's annoying. Because that can just bounce Obliterator forever. Interesting. Opponent is brainstorming here. Not really sure what that means. Because it seems to me like just bounce Obliterator every turn is pretty insane. I mean, until they show me one, I can't really assume that they have Diabolic Edict, right? Like, I know nothing about their deck list more generally. Alright, then you got me there, Mike. I mean, you can't say it's fairly prevalent in Grixis now when we're playing against fairies, right? That doesn't work. Let's bottom that. Alright, if this Bob lives, awesome. Yeah, I have not had a decent mix of lands and spells in any of the games that I've played yet. I'm just going to tick this up to play around a lightning bolt on it. I want this to survive. That must mean that my opponent has like another burn spell and they're just going to get to finish Lily off. Alright, they kept one with that. Cantripping again. Gotta find an answer to Bob. Now they are digging for exactly Lightning Bolt. They've already used 2. I potentially should have hymned them over Lilianaing this turn, in case their last card is something crazy good like a Jace. Nope, they just have 2 lands left. I can play another Bob. But I probably... I've probably got things wrapped up with what I have on board. But we're not here for the probablys, right? We're here to, like, flip double Phyrexian Obliterator and die to our own cards. This plays around a single removal spell better. Plus, I can just, like, plus Lily and kill off one of the Bobs on my turn if I take too much damage. Good Bobs. Alright, so my opponent will get a Snapcaster back. So they can Snapcaster K command. Little do they know what's coming. Come on, Obliterator. Come on, Obliterator. We're not going to play Lash Ride this turn because my opponent has the K command at the ready. So now my opponent will cast K command, return their Snapcaster, blow up my Bob. And that's fine. Your own, Lily. Well, that's marginally annoying. But I don't actually care that much. All right, opponent, you figure that one out. I suspect that it might have been better at that point to just wait to Snapcaster on their turn. Not 100% sure. All right, let's see if they can beat me. They have Underground Sea in hand. They are dead. All right, so we're playing against Grixis Control. My reanimates seem good. My chains seem good. Inquisition's probably fine as well, just to like punch a hole for all my big stuff. I would even consider surgicals just because like that K command shit is real obnoxious. I'm probably not going to want to sideboard that many cards. So I probably want to sideboard out just a couple creatures. Actually, maybe I treat this like Miracles where I plan on going slower. Or at least slower when I'm on the draw. If I plan on going slower, I can try to shut off their value engine like this. And then use a combination of like Thoughtseize and Him plus Surgical to get rid of the stuff that's actually annoying for me. Flash Rise can just kill out of nowhere, though. I still kind of like it. Like, K-Command is going to get a 2-for-1 no matter what. This hand is incredibly slow. But I have lots of things that I can draw into, and I don't think I want to throw back the hand that has, like, a Planeswalker, Obliterator, and, like, lands. We'll take our time. I was bottom with Preordained, by the way. So my opponent knows this is coming. It was in the hand that they saw. Hopefully this doesn't mean something like Jace bounce. That'd be devastating. That's fine. Dear opponent, please Snapcaster Mage or Diabolic Edict. Boo. Now my opponent gets to just Jace bounce my Dark Confidant and attack in, and then repeat, and I'll die. And if you don't really know what your opponent is doing, keeping force in is fine. Yeah, opponent kind of had it all. Let's see their deck. Okay. So that was exactly one Diabolic Edict to answer an early Angler. Or not an early Angler, an early Obliterator. My opponent has all their snaps in. My opponent has all their forces in. Okay. So now that I know that there's only one of those edicts, I'm less inclined to want these surgicals. And I think when I'm on the play, I'm going to play my Dark Rituals. Like the possibility of turn 1, any one of these 6 cards, or turn 2 Obliterator seems insane. Or even just turn 1 chains. Take out the single target discard. I think I want to keep the Thoughtseizes because they take Jace. That matters. See, like, how does this keep happening at, like, just terrible mixes? Frustrating. Very frustrating. Guess I should have kept the first one and just hoped to rip a land. All right, we have a source of card advantage / win condition in play, so that's good. My way of winning is sending this Lily straight up and then ultimating it. Looks like my opponent has a Gurmag Angler, which I actually don't care about unless my opponent has another removal spell too. So I can take this up to 5 and then take 3 off of it. No, my plan is to take Bob next turn if I don't draw something that can protect the Lily. But I drew something that could protect the Lily. And before my opponent's last card is K Command. No, not K Command, but still bad. Sure, HC Fox, I don't disagree, but we're 100% losing this game if my opponent has a K Command, so it doesn't actually matter. I mean, we're not actually dead. Like, if I just, like, rip a card that matters in the next turn or two, we're very, very much in this game. Now we're probably dead. Why so many lands? Because this deck needs mana to do things. Like, you're trying to cast 4-drops like Lash Writhe and Obliterator, and you're very heavy on the 3s and 4s, so you do need a lot of land. We've had very few respectable opening hands tonight. Lake of the Dead would be fine if I wasn't playing Lash Writhe and if I wanted to go bigger. But, if I was going to go and play, a couple of Graves Titan-sized threats instead, Lake of the Dead might be reasonable. But as is, I don't think it fits. Alright, this is a reasonable opening hand. Now I'll just probably get, comboed off on turn 1 or something. That's okay, opponent. I'll try again next turn. See, this is the shit that I'm here to bully. I'm just gonna have, Death Touch Lifelinkers and get there. Force, Delver, reanimate. How do I want to do this? Reanimate's the scariest card. If I hymn them, they'll force pitch force. If I just take a force and then hymn them, it could be good. Or it could do very little. I could also just take force and then resolve one of my 3-drops this turn. Or, like, not resolve it, but, like... Yeah, if I take a force and then play a spell that has to be countered, their hand does nothing. So let's do that. Alright, so now they have 2 lands and a reanimate. They'll play a land. No, they drew something they can cast. Nope. Alright. So their last card is Unknown. Play the card that has the highest upside here if it resolves. So I don't really know how they're going to beat Arena plus the rest of the bullshit that I've got going on in this deck. Yeah, they can have a kill spell. No kill spell. My guess is they have something like a Force of Will, which is why they played out their other lands. Thoughtseize, snap, concede. Alright, I'm playing against snap, concede the match. No way to beat that ever. Yeah, when I originally brewed this up, the idea was to just like punish the ever-loving shit out of decks like Delver. I think my opponent's out would have been like reanimate one of my obliterators and not die to the Vampire Nighthawk in the air before that happened. Thought sees you in to concede the match. No, Death and Taxes has not gotten anything out of the new set yet. It's a multicolor set, so I'm not too hopeful for this set. Alright. It does not matter what my opponent is doing. I'm going to try to ruin it. We'll figure out how to win the game later. So, I think this time, since my opponent's F6'd, or was F6'd, Reality Smasher, Urborg. Alright. Now let's Thought Seize You. Let's pick apart what's left. Not much is left. I guess I'll take the Chalice. Alright, so what does that leave them with? They're left with Dismember. We'll find a way to win the game. Don't worry, chat. It'll be fine. Win condition. Get. I'm just going to hold back for this turn. They want to use their Dismember. This is fine. But then that leaves this one around. Oh man, one land and we get there. We are one land away from assembling the combo. Which should be literally unbeatable for our Eldrazi. Come on! Why? I had the land too. So if I just hold this back for another turn, I'm effectively gaining 4 on the next turn. So I don't think I want to trade this yet. I do just want to, like, keep the last Ride Dream alive. This is less than ideal. Cavern of Souls is fine. What does that really accomplish, Mike? I don't really think my opponent's in the position where they can play cautiously, though. I think they're kind of having to assume that I have nothing all of the time. So I think I play less discard and play more to the board with all of this sort of stuff. The hymns might still be good enough value. Actually, Lily Last Hope's pretty medium, isn't it? Like, the plus isn't actually going to kill anything. The minus getting back my Death Touchers is kind of nice, but I don't know that that's actually good. I almost want to just trade, but I'm not going to. Deal with that. Endbringer. Not bad. So I actually just want to play double Vampire Nighthawk this turn, I'm pretty sure. But that's sweet. Actually, if I just like play Lash Ride and equip Lash Ride to one of my Nighthawks, then my Obliterator 100% guaranteed gets to attack this turn. I kind of have a wealth of riches here. Alright, opponent has gone to 2. Dismember is off. Ancient Tomb is off. Taking another hit from Vampire Nighthawk is off. Wasteland, also off. Is that a chalice? That is a chalice on 0 after tapping mana. Strong. Mm-hmm. Alright, so I guess technically my opponent can survive by sacking 5 permanents. So I should just move Lashrai to Obliterator. Yeah. Meanie. Got him. Opponent now re-sideboarding, considering their life choices. Those Endbringers are pretty sweet against Obliterator. So there's that. Alright, I have 1, 2, 3 removal spells in hand. I feel like this deck could play a lot of things though. I don't think I want to trade this here. So I can just push the Endless one out of the way. And then play a Bob. Not a creature, please. Alright, Endless one into hand. Goodbye, top end. Ooh, got all his dust in a chalice. Do I want to trade? Not really. I'll just sit here and be a rattlesnake. The good old post-combat reality smasher. Please let me draw a land. Reanimate. What does that do? I can reanimate my opponent's reality smasher. This is awkward. I can reanimate the smasher and we can stare at each other. If I reanimate their smasher, I can also attack in with Gifted Aetherborn. So I'll effectively go up to 11, down to 6, and then I can trade smasher for smasher. I think I do that. It's just weird. No, I can't swing with both or I'll just die. We don't need to worry about the top of their deck. We're just going to play to the field. And I don't think I want to play out my Bob. That seems extraordinarily risky at this stage. Alright, there goes my Obliterator. So, obviously my next card will be a Swamp to punish me harder. So I can just block the Matter Reshaper here and go to 1. What happens if I do that? If I do that and I draw something that beats the Thought-Knot Seer, I just win on the spot, but that seems excessively risky. Do I want to attack in with one of these? Probably not. It's close. Like, my opponent doesn't block. I go up to 5. If they just swing with this, I let it through. Yeah, I swing with 1. It's better upside. If I attack with both of these, my opponent will block with Matter Reshaper. If I attack with one, they won't block, probably. I think I'm fine with attacking with both. Like, I'm going to gain 4 life. And I'm going to have Bob as a jump blocker. If my opponent puts a card to hand with Matter Reshaper that's good, I can just him it. An Eldrazi Mimic. Now this is awkward. I have to hold this back or I die. We will make my opponent make the correct lines of play. If my opponent just does this and then pings me, I do just die. Oh man, if my opponent gives me time, I can beat them. Rats. No. Nah. I'll show myself out. Thank you. Got him. Glad I saw that line. Okay, so some things need to change about this deck in some direction in order to make it more competitive. Like, against the decks like Eldrazi and like Delver decks, where like these cards matter, this deck's fine. Like, when this stuff is actively good, the deck does what it wants. But against something like Miracles, where like these cards are just like whatever, and like this too, or against like the Grixis control deck where like my Lash Rise are invalidated and these don't clock very hard, it's pretty easy to get outvalued by things like Planeswalker. Overvoltage, I would not tonight. I did another league earlier today, so I've done a fair amount of streaming tonight, and this is not good. It's fun. It's very fun, but there probably needs some changes to make it more competitive. Sandstone X-ray, probably next week, because I'm going to go out of town to Baltimore this weekend. So, and I do always upload to YouTube. The Thraben University channel there has everything, and that's linked to on my website as well. But it would probably be next Thursday, if I were to guess. Yeah, anyway, so if I were gonna like try something like this again, I'd actually consider a prison route, and I'd play like 4 chains, 4 Chalice of the Void, and then try some other like a slightly different approach on the same sort of stuff, and try to play like a mono black prison deck. I'm still sort of on board for one more mono black control deck of some nature, due to a donation, but I think I'll try something radically different from this. That's right, we did manage to beat one opponent. Shadow just like rage quit after like thought seizing me and seeing like Gifted Aetherborn, Vampire Nighthawk, and Phyrexian Obliterator. They were done. All right, so chat, I hope you enjoyed this tonight. This was meant to be something fun and silly, not something, you know, hyper competitive, obviously. Though we did our best with what we had. This was a donation deck, sort of brought to us indirectly by Felchmaster 9000 for his generous donation. Yeah, that's a great clip. I'm gonna enjoy that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it for a night. So generally speaking, I stream on Monday and Thursday nights at approximately 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I also stream on Saturday mornings. Time a little bit variable there, though I won't be this weekend because I'll be playing D&T in Baltimore, which is going to be great. If you enjoyed tonight's content, please consider following, and if you're really enjoying what I'm doing and all these sweet legacy decks that I'm playing, you know, follow, subscribe, do a donation deck list, do something to support me. And before I go, I'd like to thank my sponsors, the wonderful Card Hoarder, who let me borrow all of the cards for this awesome brew, so I didn't have to buy them, and Cardboard Live, that does the awesome extension that you are seeing on screen that lets you sort of view my deck list. And if you're a tournament organizer, there's a lot of really cool features that they can do as well. All right, plug over. See you guys later. Have a good night.